Welcome to PoPo's channel. Follow me to learn more crochet.
The bag, it is made up of 3 square flower pieces, and then sew them together to form a bag. What we need to crochet specifically is actually these 3 flower pieces. This is the diagram of the flower piece. You can take a look, these symbols. It doesn't matter if beginners can't understand. Actually, there are notes below. I will also tell you during the crocheting process how to crochet this and what is called, let's start with the needle. For the start of the needle, we have this thread I have prepared to balls. So I just find the thread from the outside and align them. Then align the 2 ends of the thread like this. Then put this thread aside. At the beginning, can pull out a little more thread, which is convenient for us to operate. Then our right hand holds the thread end. At this time, for beginners, can take a look how I wind this thread around onto my left hand. See it clearly? This is the current step. You can slow down and watch this step carefully and practice slowly along with the video because it's not very difficult. Now the thread end and the thread on my finger will form a cross, right? Then we use our thumbs and middle fingers to pinch the cross and hold the thread between your index finger and thumb. This thread here should be tense and don't let it be loose like this. If it is loose like this, it won't play any role. Try to keep it straight. You can feel the tension. You can feel the tightness of the thread. Then take out our crochet hook. Here we can see the diagram, which this is where this round starts, and it shows 3. It shows that 3 of these ellipses, which means 3 chain stitches. This is the regular long needle standing stitch, which means 3 chain stitches here in order to make the flower piece more beautiful. So we don't use this this method of the standing. We use another more beautiful, seamless long needle starting method. You can see how I operate it. Put the hook needle on top of the thread. Turn it clockwise once. After turning it once, did you see that? My thread is not far away from my finger. Don't do it like this. If you do this, it will be difficult. You may have difficulties in late. Try to keep it a little closer to your hand, but not too close. Then press the thread onto the crochet hook. That is to say, the hook needle looks like this now. There are 2 loops on it. Then use your middle finger of your right hand to hold these 2 loops. And then insert the hook needle into the loop. Insert the hook into it. Then use the hook needle to pull the thread. See it clearly. The hook needle should be below the line. Then press the thread to hook it out. At this time, our middle finger should hold down these 3 loops. Then our fingers on the left hand should take them out and hold the bottom. See, hold the bottom part in this way so that the thread will be stretched and straight. Hold the bottom of it like this. Then the crochet hook goes through the first 2 loops. Then our left hand should, to develop a habit, wherever the crochet needle goes, our fingers on the left hand should follow it. Now, my long needle has been pulled up and stands up. At this time, we should stretch the loop. Take the hook away. Then we loosen the thread of our hand and take the hook away. Then we take out a marker. We need to fasten the marker. To make a mark on the top of the loop, where exactly should we fasten it? Let's take a look at it. This is the loop we've pulled apart, right? The stretched loop, you can see that it passes through these 2 loops of thread. Then our marker button should be buttoned on this loop, on the upper loop here. Then insert the hook needle back into the loop. Then adjust the loop to the appropriate size. Then wind the thread around our left hand again, which is what it looks like now. Then let's look at this diagram. The diagram tells us we need to crochet 2 long stitches. Let's see how to hook a long stitch. Thread the hook through the loop and out and bring it out. Then wind the thread out of the front 2 loops. And then wind out the last 2 loops in this way. a long stitch is completed. As you can see, after each long stitch is done, a long cylinder will be formed below it, and a braid will be added on top. This is the same thing, which is similar to a letter V. This is the composition of a long stitch. Then we'll hook another long stitch, thread the hook through the big loop, and bring it out. When bringing the thread out, you can see that my thread is actually has a little height, the height of this thread, and the height of the thread we bring out, try to be as high as the height of our 2 locking stitches. Here, because we didn't hook the locks, there is no ref, right? You can see this braid. You can take a look at this braid. Is actually the same as the principle of the lock stitch. That is, we need to hook about 2 braids to this height. So we can't hold the thread like this. Can't be so tightly stretched. We need to loosen it a little bit.
Then wind the thread around to hook the first 2 loops. Then wind the thread to exit the last 2 loops. In this way, there are 3, which are similar. This is actually 3 long stitches. We have finished crocheting. Then you can see that there are 3 here, these oval shapes, which means 3 slip stitches. The lock stitch is relatively simple. We directly press the hook against the thread. This is a single crochet stitch. 2 stitches. 3 stitches. Do you see it? My left hand will always follow my crochet hook. In this way, you can ensure that your hand strength is evenly hooked out as much as possible. This braid should be as consistent as possible. And let's look at here. It's 3 long stitches again. Symbol. Pass the thread through the hole and bring it out. Push the thread up to the height of the 2 stitches, then wind the thread to pull out the first 2 loops, and wind out the last 2 loops. In this way, a long stitch is completed. Then the second one, pass the thread through the hole. Pull the thread out. Our middle finger of the right hand should always press down on the loop. Otherwise, the thread, its tightness will be out of control. It will run around on the hook. Our middle finger should press down on these loops. Then pass the thread through the first 2 loops, and then withdraw the last 2 loops. Then hook the 3rd stitch. In this way, 3 long stitches, and then we can look at the diagram. 3 chain stitches, 1, 2, 3. Then 3 long stitches again. Loosen the thread a little bit. Exit the first 2 loops and hook the last 2 loops with thread. Then wind the thread and hook the 2nd long stitch. Sorry. The 3rd long stitch. Then we can see the diagram. It's 3 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then 3 long stitches. Pull the thread through the hole and hook a long stitch. 1 tastón. Okay. Hey. 3 stitches. We can count how many long stitches we have on this. How many long stitches are on the ring? 1, 2, 4 long stitches.
Here, there are also 1, 2, 3 for long stitches.
So when we get here, we should first stretch the loop wider, remove the hook. Then we pull on this thread end to tighten the loop. Then here you need to use a little more so that the middle part can be shrunk. But here, don't use brute force to pull it.
Otherwise, it is likely that the thread will be broken.
When it reaches this level, it's almost done. Then we take out the crochet hook and then put it back into the loop again. Here you can see that on the diagram. On this diagram, it shows 3 chain stitches here, but in fact, we won't crochet 3 chain stitches. Because it is for the sake of beauty, we need to change the method, which means we should use the latter one. This diagram it should be changed to this one. It's a single chain stitch, and then a long stitch. Look at this. First a slip stitch, then a long stitch. That's how it is on this side. Then we crochet according to this diagram. First, hook a slip stitch. and put the marker on. First, hook a slip stitch and then a long stitch. The insertion position of this long stitch is the slip stitch, is where the marker is placed. Then I'll take the crochet hook away first. Let's take a look. Did you see that? Where I put the marker stitch? This is the side I'm marking, but the crochet hook later will be inserted into the other side, which is this side. Because a braid is composed of the left and the braid on the right side together. The left half of the braid and the right half of the braid. We also call them the front half and the back half. The stitch I'm marking with the safety pin is the front half. Actually, what I'm going to pick up later is this back half needle. Then we can use the crochet needle. First, loosen the back half of the needle and pull it a bit to make it easier to insert. Then we insert the hook needle into this loop. Then wind the thread. Then insert the hook needle, the hole we just picked up and loosened. Insert the hook needle. First, bring the thread out. For this long stitch, we can crochet it a little tighter. We don't need to deliberately pull the thread to the height of the 2 locking stitches. We can hook it a little tighter, then wind the thread out again and bring it out. You can take a look at the state of the knitted piece in my hand now. It has actually taken on the shape of a square. This shape or this shape, like this. Then we'll stretch the loop out and then remove the marker. The place where the marker is buckled. It may be a little loose. It doesn't matter. Later on, it will gradually become less noticeable. Now, it means that the first round, we have completely hooked it. Next, we need to change to white thread to crochet the second round. So hook the second. Now we can take out our scissors, cut the thread in half, leaving about 5 to 7 centimeters. At this time, we find that when we started the knitting, there is a long thread end here, right? In order to make it easier to crochet in the future from entangling with other threads, we can use this large-eyed sewing needle to hide the thread first before hiding the thread. If it's your first time to hide this thread, you should pay attention to the direction of the thread. Just pull it a little. You will find that the thread comes like this. So when we lengthen it, our thread should follow this direction. Just follow the original track and go around again. If you lengthen the thread, if you grow the thread in this direction, then the thread may fall apart. You will fail and have to redo. You may have to rehook it. First, we insert the needle. Insert it into these loops in this direction. Then thread the needle through the loop again and thread it through. Then pull the thread over here. Then we hide a few stitches forward. Okay, now we can take out the scissors and pay attention to cut the thread cut along the knitted fabric, but don't cut into other places. Then pull it. Basically, you won't be able to see the thread end. When you do this series of actions, pay attention to the loop. It should always stay here. Don't pull it over too much. Otherwise, it will fall off. Now we have finished the first round we need to change to white thread to the second round. We need to prepare the white thread first. Then first, wind the white thread around your hand like this. Hold the white thread like this in your hand. And then we pick up the original knitted piece, hold it in hand, then pass the hook needle through these 2 loops. Do you see it? That is the large loop, which was originally passed through these 2 loops. We'd pass the hook needle through these 2 loops and pass through. Then use the crochet needle to pull the white thread. Let's see how I hook it like this. Hook it like this. Then release all the thread in your hand. Then stretch the hook needle. Then put down the knitted fabric. Then turn it over to the reverse side. On the back side, we can see there is this green thread and the white thread together. We tie the 2 threads together. For beginners, you can leave the thread a little longer, which is more convenient. When making the first knot, we should be gentle so that the white thread, pull the white thread away. Then for the green thread, we can pull it hard to pull the thread out completely. At this time, pay attention to this. White thread away. Don't let it pull the thread away. Pull the green thread over. Then make a knot. And then tie another knot. It's to prevent it from slipping off. We try to tie the knots so it will be tighter. For the second knot, we can tie it a little tighter. Then we put the crochet hook. Put the hook back on the white loop. Adjust the tightness of it. Pull the thread and hang the thread back on our left hand again. Now we have the thread changes successfully completed. Let's take a look at the diagram. The diagram here shows crocheting. We need to crochet 3 long stitches. In fact, every time we change the thread, that is to say, every round, we need to stand up a stitch for it. Here we need to make a standing stitch. You can see the long stitch for the standing stitch. It's a little different from the first round. First, pass through this big hole. Then wind the thread out. Do you see it? My loop is actually a little loose. Without making it too tight, let's make it a little looser. Then wind the thread out. This is a short stitch crochet method. After a short stitch, we'll hook another slip stitch. In this way, it is also equivalent to a long stitch. The stitch here, it is both a long stitch, but its actual function is the standing stitch. That is to say, in these 3 stitches, we have already hooked 1 stitch, and we just need to hook 2 more long stitches, and that's it. After this winds the bind for an insertion, we need to remember to put the white thread and the green thread end on the crochet hook. This can make the thread longer for a while. Then wind the thread out. Do you see it? When hooking the long stitch here, we should loosen the thread a little bit, then wind the thread to pull back the first 2 loops, and wind the thread back to loops. In this way, the second long stitch is hooked. Here, we need to stretch the loop a little bit. Especially for beginners, you must remember to make this marker. Hang the marker. It should be that here. We actually hooked 2 long stitches, right? Here, the last braid is the V of the second long stitch. The 5th of the first long stitch is right below the first long stitch. Then we put the marker button on this V-shaped part. Like this, you see, to pick up the entire braid. Do you see it? Beginners can refer to this. My position, the hanging position, to lift up the entire braid. Hang it up, and then thread the hook needle back into this. Then we hook another long stitch and wind the thread. For this thread end, we need to keep the thread above the crochet hook, then wind the thread out. Wait for the thread to loosen. Pass the thread through the 2 and 2 loops behind. In this way, the 3 stitches here. The 3 stitches here are done. Then we need to turn to this large hole. 3 long stitches, 3 lock stitches, and 3 long stitches. 3 chain stitches, 3 long stitches. Do you see it? The symbol of it. Its tails are all in this big hole, which means that all these stitches should be hooked in this big hole. Insert. Thread directly into the hole. Exit the first 2 loops. Pull back 2 loops and wind. After hooking these 3 long stitches, we must remember to hook 3 lock stitches. 1, 2, 2, done 2 to 3. Then hook 3 long stitches in the same hole. When you get here, we can first pull the loop bigger, because when you hooked, you will find that the thread seems to be entangled with the white thread. Let's deal with this thread first, because we have tied a knot before, and these 3 stitches here are all wrapped around the thread. So this thread, we can directly cut it off When cutting, you should pay attention to, especially for beginners. That is, if you find that the knot is not wrapped in and exposed outside, then you can manually pull it apart, or a crochet hook, or use something else to wrap the thread, wrap it inside, and don't let it show. Then take out the scissors to wrap the thread along the edge and cut it off. Be careful not to cut other threads. In this way, there will be no other threads exposed outside, and it will be a clean and refreshing knitted piece. Then we insert the hook needle. Insert the hook needle back into the loop. We continue to crochet forward. In fact, when we crochet here, careful babies have actually discovered a pattern. That is, each of the large holes in the 4 corners are all crocheted with 3 long stitches. 3 long stitches, and then 3 long stitches. In this way, then in this hole, we will crochet 3 long stitches. After hooking 3 long stitches, we'll crochet 3 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 long stitches. Then we turn to this hole, 3 long stitches. Then we hook 3 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3. Then we crochet 3 long stitches. Then we continue to hook. We have reached here, and we're done here. There are 3 long stitches next, which means we should crochet in this hole, because each hole actually requires 2 groups of long stitches, plus a set of this lock stitch here, because we only crochet 1 set of long stitches, so we need to crochet another set of long stitches. When we get to this point, we can see the diagram here, because this is in white. I don't know if you can see it clearly. After hooking these 3 long stitches, the pattern shows a slip stitch and then a long stitch, which is the same as the first round here, is the same. Let's crochet a slip stitch, then a long stitch. The place where we insert is the braid where we hang the marker. Let's pick up. We pick up the entire braid, pull it, then pass through the marked braid here. Just pass it through directly. Pass it through here. Because this braid, it will be a little tight. Okay, just pass it through like this. Then hook it over. This long stitch is the long needle in the last corner every time. We should make it a little tighter. In this way, this white circle will be completely done. Then in the same way, pull the loop apart. Then take out the scissors. Leave about 5 to 7 centimeters of the white thread, and then cut it off. Now, this is what it looks like. Then we take off the marker pin, because this marker is no longer needed. Then put the fabric aside. Then we take out another color of thread. For the other color of thread, we also need to align the ends of the thread first. Then on our hand, we first wind it around. To wind it around, and hold it with our thumb and middle finger like this. It's actually the same step as changing the thread before. Then take up the knitting piece again, then use the hook and pass through these 2 loops again. Now it looks like this. Then we hook this thread over and pull it a bit. And pull the thread a little more over to prevent it from falling. Now it looks like this. We also stretch the loop out and then put the knitted piece down, turn it over. Now there are 2 more threads. We tie 2 knots to these 2 threads. We should tie the first knot gently so as not to break the loop of the thread. Now we can actually pull this white thread over. Pull it over like this. See it clearly. Pull it out like this. Directly pull the coil off. It doesn't matter, but don't pull off the blue thread if you're afraid of it. If you're afraid it will, you can pull the thread a little bigger. then turn it over and tie a knot for it. We can tie the first knot lightly and the second one a little tighter. In this way, the thread change is done. Then we insert the hook. Reinsert the crochet needle into the loop. Adjust the coil to the right size and you can pull it. You can stir it. Try to make the knot stick to the white one. This loop, insert the hook needle into the loop here. In the same, put both ends of the thread on the hook needle. Then wind the thread and exit these 2 loops. Then we'll hook another slip stitch. Then we will crochet these 2 long stitches because this long stitch is actually equivalent to the standing stitch which just has been crocheted. Then we will crochet these 2 long stitches, thread the needle through the loop. Then the thread end must be kept above the crochet needle and pull it out. Then back out the first 2 loops and then back to loops. Then we pull the loop bigger. We also need to mark it. The braid at the front is the braid formed by the braid below it is the braid of the standing stitch. We need to hang this marker button on the braid of the standing stitch, which is this stitch. After hanging it, we put the hook needle back to its original place. Then continue to hook a long stitch. Be sure to wrap the thread inside and then we'll cut it. Then we pull the loop apart and cut it off. Then we put the hook needle back to its original place and continue to hook. Now you will find that there seem to be more holes. There's a hole here and here is another hole at this time. Let's take a closer look. This is a square, has 4 angles. This is the 4 corners of the square. There will be a large hole at each of its 4 corners, but there is also a large hole on its side, which add up to 4 large holes. We need to crochet 3 long stitches in this large hole inside. Only crochet 3 long. Do you see that? It only hooks long, not the slip stitch. Only in these large holes on the corners. We only crochet 2 groups of long stitches. And then we crochet 3 slip stitches. In the holes on the side, we only crochet 3 long stitches. This is the rule of this pattern. Then we pull the thread. And in this hole, because this hole is on the side of the square, so we just need to crochet 3 long stitches in it. 1 stop for 1. Sink back to 1. Then 3 chain stitches, 1, 2, 3. 1 to professions, 2, 3. Then we come to this side again. This side, we only need to crochet 3 long stitches in this hole. Then we come to this corner of the foot. On this foot, we need to crochet 3 long stitches, 1, 3. Then we continue to hook 3 chain stitches, 2, 3, and then 3 long stitches, 1 count sun. In this way, this corner is done. Then we'll crochet this corner in this big hole, 3 long stitches. After 3 long stitches, we turn to this corner, 3 long stitches. One is lined to 3. We just need to crochet 3 long stitches in this hole. We continue to crochet a long stitch 1, 2, 3, and then we do the same. We can see that here it is still this color The next round will still be the same color thread. That means after this round, we don't need to change colors and we can direct. Let's see how to do it. We still need to hook a slip stitch first. Then, just like the first 2 rounds, we need to crochet a long stitch. Let's see how to hook a long stitch. Here, I'll remove the marker first because I crocheted this stitch quite tightly. And pass through the stitch of the marker. Then bring the thread out. We can crochet this long stitch a little tighter. In this way, this round is finished. Then we don't need to cut this thread because we need to change the thread in the first. So we cut it here and then take a new thread, then take a new thread. Here, since we don't need to change the thread, we will continue to use this thread. Redirectly on this. We will make a standing stitch for the next round, which means a short stitch and a slip stitch. We directly loosen the loop a little bit looser, and insert it into the large hole and hook a short stitch. Then hook a slip stitch. In this way, the standing stitch is ready. And now we can directly hang the marker because I feel that many beginners, after I finish the second long stitch and then hang the marker, it may be a bit confusing. After we finish the standing stitch, we directly hang the marker. We can see that the topmost V is the braid stitch, is the braid of the standing stitch of this stitch. We can directly hang the marker and put the crochet hook back into the original loop. Then we continue to crochet. In this hole, we need to continue crocheting to long stitches. Teacher, teacher. 2 stitches. Then let's take a look at our square, which has become larger. So the edge has become 2 holes. So the side in the last round, there was only 1 hole here, right? This round has 2 holes, whether it's 1 hole, 2 holes, or 3 or 4 holes later. As long as the hole is on the edge, we only crochet 3 long stitches. And for the hole on the corner like this, we need to crochet 3 long stitches. 3 long stitches and 3 long stitches. This is the rule of crochet. In fact, until now, everyone has found that. We have been using the same crocheting method. 3 long stitches. We also crochet 3 long stitches here. Then 3 lock stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 long stitches. Now we can take a look at it. This square pattern has become very obvious. Then what's next? It's actually just a repetition of actions. It's just keep doing it at the corner. Every time you come to this corner, you can crochet 2 long stitches and 1 slip stitch. And in the other holes, you just crochet 3 long stitches. Just keep crocheting like this and keep crocheting. The square-shaped fabric piece will become larger and larger. Next, everyone, you can finish the remaining rounds. The remaining rounds of crocheting until the 9th round. When there are a few stitches left, we'll come back and then I'll tell you how to finish a knitted piece. Now, I'm on the 9th round and there is 1 last long stitch left here and we haven't crocheted it yet. Let's crochet it. After hooking this long stitch, because we are about to finish this flower piece, so we'll crochet a slip stitch first and then a slip stitch. Note that we need to crochet 2 chains here. Then we can directly take out the scissors and cut the thread with scissors. When cutting, you need to pay attention that leave about 5 to 7 centimeters. Then we directly pull out this thread. When pulling it out, don't pull the other one. Otherwise, if you pull it too hard, the V here will shrink and deform. The V here will shrink. It will shrink very small and deformed. Then we take out this large-eyed sewing needle. The braid that comes out corresponds to this, the first stitch of this loop, which is the standing stitch. This braid here, then we pass the sewing needle through it. Be careful not to pull too hard, just a little bit. Don't pull this side too tightly, and then we'll tighten it. Then we pass it through from the front to the back. The last small braid on this side, and pass the last little braid through here. Then we put the needle back into this V-shaped part. Do you see it? The new V-shaped part you just created, we put it through from bottom to top. From bottom to top. The purpose of this step is to prevent the last braid you crochet from deforming. You can see that. After I pass it through this V shape, it will return to its normal size. After threading it, then we can find that here, there is a thread. There is a thread also comes out from here. That is to say the end of this braid. So we need to follow this thread along the texture of the thread. We pass the two threads below here. In this thread will cover the original thread, and there will be no extra marks when passing through. Next, we will work on the long thread. This long thread is the same as before. We can use scissors to cut this thread off. Cut along the edge. Next, we will follow this method. We can follow this method. We will make 2 more pieces of this fabric. That is like I am doing now, making a total of 3. After all 3 pieces are done, we can start to sew them together.
Thanks for your attention.